In Irvin's reading, he basically explains what college writing is, and he gives different tips and tricks on how to become a college writer, how to get to that level. He also goes in depth about academic writing and how to write an analysis. So to get started, he uses a quote from Professor Leanne Carroll, and she basically explains what college writing typically consists of. So you need to be able to require knowledge or research skills. You need to have the ability to read complex text. You need to understand key disciplinary concepts, and you need to have strategies for synthesizing. So out of all of those, I definitely think I struggle with the research skills and the complex text. Research skills, I've always just struggled with. I never know what sources are like reliable and trustworthy. I've always like iffy about what I use. I've never just felt comfortable doing it. Same thing with reading complex text. When we read the article by Keith Grant Davey, it was a lot more complex than the article by Nugent and Wysocki and Lynch. I didn't understand it as much as I did the other articles, and I was so uncomfortable with using it. I didn't use it in either of our 2 papers that we wrote, and I just want to be able to feel more comfortable with reading complex text so that I can have that source in my papers in the future. Going on, he gives the definition of academic writing, which is super important. We already know what academic writing is. We learned about it in Wysocki and Lynch's article. However, it's super important getting his definition from it. Also in the article, he mentions 2 or 3 times that you need to be aware of what your professor is asking. So that definitely stood out to me, and I felt the need to include that in this video. Going on, he goes in depth about what an analysis is. It's the how and why, which isn't new. Same thing. He explains that analysis breaks down a subject apart, and you study it closely. From this, your ideas of writing emerge. Once again, not new information. In the Wysocki and Lynch article, we understood that an analysis is breaking your reading down into bits and pieces. So once again, not new information. Those pieces create your claim or thesis. And then he goes on explaining the different writing assignments there are. So a closed writing assignment is the writing assignment where it's like this or that. You have 2 counter claims or arguments, and you determine which one's the more valid claim for you, and that's what you base your writing off of. Next is the semi-open writing assignment. They don't offer you claims that you can easily use in your paper. However, you're still making an argument. And the final one is the open writing assignment. And from the open writing assignment, you have to decide your topic and your claim. So when you pick your writing assignment, he explains that you need to look for things that interest you. And this is super important to me. He said you'll write best when you write from both your head and your heart. And this is something, when I choose a topic that I'm interested in, I'm more successful in my papers. I can't stop writing. I'm motivated to keep going. It's something that I strongly agree with in his writing. And then he also goes on saying a well-tended garden is better than a large one full of weeds. And this is something I also agree with too. Basically explaining you want to make your paper about one thing, and you need to carve out those things that just aren't needed, because it'll throw off your reader. It's just not needed. So you want to make sure your essay limit your topic and support it well. And then finally, he goes on explaining the characteristics of a critical essay, which are things that aren't new to us. You have your thesis, you support it, you use your formatting, you citate your citations, and your grammatical correctness. And that's basically what his reading was about.